The morning after Ngozi's death, the entire village of Umus was wrapped in mourning. Mama Yugo's cries echoed through the valley as her first daughter, the pride of her heart, was laid to rest beside the great Iroko tree, the same place her ancestors slept. Obinna's grief was endless. He refused food, refused comfort, and sat beside the grave long after the others had gone home. Only Adanna stood quietly at a distance, her eyes dry, her face calm, too calm. When Obinna wept, she offered him her shoulder. When Mama Yugo prayed, Adanna fetched her water. Soon, her shadow began to stretch into spaces where her sister's light once shone. Weeks turned into moons. The villagers whispered that Obinna should not remain alone for long. One evening, Mama Yugo called him to her hut and said gently, "My son, my heart is broken, but life must go on. Adanna is still young, and you both loved Ngozi. Perhaps she can care for you and the child." Obinna hesitated. The thought of marrying his late wife's sister felt like betrayal, yet Adanna's care for Ngozi's son touched his heart. She cooked, fetched water, and cleaned his compound with quiet devotion. Before the next planting season, they were married. The drums beat once again in Umus, but the sound was hollow, as though the earth itself disapproved. At first, all seemed well. Adanna wore the coral beads of a new bride and smiled in the market square. But peace did not stay. Each time she saw Ngozi's son, her heart tightened like a closed fist. The boy had Ngozi's face, her smile, her voice, even the dimple on her left cheek. Whenever he laughed, it felt like Ngozi herself had returned to mock her from the grave. "Don't sit there," she would snap at him. "Go fetch firewood. Don't touch my pot." At night, she whispered bitterly to herself. Why must her spirit live on while mine rots in shadow? Obinna began to notice, but each time he tried to correct her, she cried and said he loved Ngozi's child more than her. Slowly, their home filled with anger instead of laughter. The boy, little Chimari, grew thin and quiet. He learned to eat quickly, to speak softly, and to hide when Adanna's footsteps approached. Once, when Mama Yugo visited, she saw bruises on his arm. "Adanna," she cried. "What has this child done to you?" Adanna bowed her head and lied. "He fell while climbing a tree, Mama." But when Mama Yugo looked into Chidi's eyes, she saw silent pain, a secret he was too afraid to speak. That night, Mama Yugo dreamed of Ngozi standing by the river, holding her son's hand, her face covered in tears. Months passed. Adanna discovered she was with child. The village rejoiced, and Obinna's heart softened. But joy does not live in a house built on guilt. Strange things began to happen. Adanna would wake screaming at night, drenched in sweat, shouting Ngozi's name. Sometimes, she saw footprints near the compound even after everyone had slept. One dawn, she found the water pot overturned, its contents forming the shape of a woman's shadow on the floor. She ran to the Dibia, trembling. The old priest looked into his cowrie shells and said, "A voice cries from beneath the earth. A wrong has been buried, but the truth is not at rest. The river remembers." Adanna left in fear, clutching her belly. When the time came for her to give birth, the sky turned grey and thunder rolled though there was no rain. Women gathered around her in the hut, fanning her as she screamed in pain. But the baby would not come. Her strength failed, and blood soaked the mud beneath her. She grasped Mama Yugo's hand and gasped, "Mother, forgive me. I killed Ngozi." The hut fell silent. Mama Yugo froze, her lips trembling. "What did you say, Adanna?" Tears poured down Adanna's face as she confessed everything, how envy had burned her heart, how she killed Ngozi's, how she lied and comforted Obinna while hiding her sin. The midwives wept, some dropped their fans and fled. Mama Yugo fell to her knees, crying, "Oh my God! My own child killed her sister." Adanna coughed and screamed once more. "She wouldn't die in my heart. Every time I saw her face, even in that boy. I couldn't escape. Her eyes rolled back. The baby was still. As the thunder cracked above, Adanna took her last breath. The next morning, the villagers buried Adanna beside Ngozi. Mama Yugo tore her wrapper and swore never to wear jewelry again. Obinna could not speak for days. Little Chimari sat silently by the graves, staring at the rain-soaked earth. That night, the river overflowed its banks for the first time in years. The villagers said they saw two shadows walking hand in hand upon the water, one dressed in white, the other in red. And the river whispered, "Greed breeds envy. Envy breeds death. But truth cleanses all." From that day, the stream beside Umuse was renamed Mmiri Umu Nwanne, the river of the sisters. Whenever someone quarreled out of jealousy, the elders would point to the river and say, "Remember Ngozi and Adanna. The shadow of envy never sleeps."